some random numbers on the Bitcoin monthly chart, but they are very important numbers. On the weekly chart, what is happening? The last 5 times Bitcoin did this thing in the last 7 years, Bitcoin either entered just this environment of 100+% gains or a bull market. Bitcoin approaching that indicator right now. I want to discuss that in this video. And obviously this week is a very big week. We have the Fed meeting, and that's going to play into the short-term volatility of crypto. So I want to just talk about all of these things, wrap it into one. And I'm really excited about this one indicator because I think it's going to be a really nice just level on the charts just to watch in the coming weeks to see if Bitcoin momentum is going to bottom out. So hit the subscribe and like on the way in. Let's jump into it. I want to actually really briefly start with this clip from Secretary Bessent to just set the tone for the video. There are a lot of bulls out there. They are. And they're just a completely different mindset than the bears that are out there. And we're going to talk about that. So check this out.
Not at all. I've been in the investment business for 35 years, and I can tell you that corrections are healthy, they're normal. What's not healthy is straight up, that you get these euphoric markets. That's how you get a financial crisis. It would have been much healthier if someone had put the brakes on in 06, 07.
Corrections are healthy. And we're going to talk about this on this monthly chart where I have these numbers. He said straight up, and I really do think about like previous bull markets of Bitcoin, and it is fun. It is fun, but it is very clear. This is not what's happened this cycle, and that's not a bad thing. So before we talk about these charts and that momentum indicator that I really want to talk about, here's what we have going on. Polymarket users predict 99% chance that the Fed will not make any rate cut changes on March 20th. So I think everybody knows that. Let's just say it's priced in, whatever. I don't think that's the thing, though. The thing is, what does Jerome Powell say, and how does he say it, and what is his tone like? Polymarket pricing in 100% chance that the Fed ends quantitative tightening before May. Now, this is what is important. If Powell even whispers quantitative easing at the next FOMC, markets will move fast. But knowing Powell, he'll keep it as vague as possible. So let's see what he says. If he kind of whispers some type of negative thing, it's probably going to move markets, everybody. And we can evaluate the short-term price action on something like Bitcoin and crypto charts, and we will. But even a little downside, even if this correction goes a little longer, right? Now is not the time, in my opinion, to be bearish. And there's apparently a lot of people that agree. There really are a lot of people out there, even watching this video, I know. High net worth investors inflows. Check this stat out. To U.S. equities hit 2% as share of Bank of America assets under management last week, the third highest on record. They are scooping up assets. Listen to this. Such a surge in purchases has not been seen for 2.5 years when the group's inflows hit 6% of assets under management in September 2022. Here it is, near the bottom of the bear market. So basically, last time these whales, the high net worth investors, started just buying, it was around the bottom of the last bear market. So call it a bear market, this correction that we're in. Call it whatever you want. But the same people that were buying the bottom of the last bear market are buying now. The same people probably that are panicking is much of retail. And you see that with on-chain metrics, actually, in terms of crypto. High net worth individuals are adding stocks to their portfolios as S&P 500 has recorded its fastest 3-week decline since 2020. Those are some numbers right there. So consider that. Consider what Secretary Bessent just said in terms of corrections. And consider this. Consider what's actually happening. Whales are continuing to buy. They're continuing to scoop up crypto. Michael Saylor about to buy $21 billion of Bitcoin. So just consider these things as we've kind of gone through years of contraction on the Fed balance sheet, and we're waiting for this expansion phase. We're waiting for quantitative tightening to come to an end, and you saw those stats before May, I believe is what it said, right? End QT before May. That's what the poly market is pricing, 100% chance. So we're getting very close. I think it's incredibly risky not to have exposure to these markets. Now let's talk about the markets. Let's look at these charts. I want to start on the Bitcoin monthly, then I want to look at the weekly and look at this indicator, the last 5 times this thing happened and how it's kind of setting up right now. So on the monthly, I have these random numbers. 6 is basically 6 monthly candles that are red since Bitcoin halving, and I'm counting the one that was in the month and halving. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're in our 6th candle. If you just go back to last cycle alone, at this moment last cycle, we had 3. And look at the difference of the chart. Absolutely parabolic for Bitcoin. And look at the stepping stones coming out of the bear market for Bitcoin. Nice move, multi-month consolidation. Nice move, multi-month consolidation. Nice move, multi-month consolidation. That is a picture of maturity in this market that I think is incredibly healthy and incredibly bullish. Even look at 2 cycles ago, 4 red candles at this moment last cycle. And those red candles were kind of intermittent, but still the move of Bitcoin was very parabolic, right? And if we open up the monthly oscillator on Bitcoin right now, and I'm sorry, we have these lines, we're going to look at those on the weekly, you can just see a very just nice higher high, higher low type of move on the oscillator, on the Bitcoin oscillator. You don't see any of this euphoric momentum oscillator type of overbought that has happened in previous cycles at all. It just hasn't happened. And maybe that will happen this cycle. I can just tell you one thing, it hasn't happened. And with that being said, if we go and we look at something like just total crypto market cap, it is also a very just healthy picture. Look at the monthly on the total crypto market cap chart. 2 red weekly or 2 red monthly candles, just absolutely parabolic. And look at it now after the Bitcoin halving. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same as Bitcoin, just so much consolidation. It's almost like the bull market hasn't even happened yet, because it probably hasn't. And we're waiting on things like this. An expansion phase is likely right around the corner. And with that, I think something big on this chart is going to happen. So the weekly chart that I want to look at is on Bitcoin, and I want to look at the momentum oscillators, because check out what's happening right here on this momentum oscillator, RSI, slower moving. Believe it or not, it really has been, since we're up in this area right around 80, it's been months of actual consolidation. It does feel like we were just breaking 100,000, everything is looking great. It's been months of consolidation since that happened, and check out the oscillator. It has absolutely cooled down, and we're just waiting for it to continue cooling down. Now, if you look at this, it could just keep falling, right? We want to see a revisit of this yellow line that you see here, because if you look at the previous 5 times, Bitcoin has kind of fallen into a similar move. Here's our 8 month of consolidation back here. Looking terrible, right? If you just look back here, looking so bad. Oh man, what is it? Bear market, recession, whatever the headlines are going to be in the high fear moments. And then what happened? Shortly after it broke out. We're kind of like in a similar thing, and we can go lower, right? We've talked about that in terms of price targets for Bitcoin right now. But that's what happened. We broke out, and it was boom through 100,000. And then previous time, broke out of that RSI trend down, and it was basically starting to enter that exit the bear market. And then same thing here, exiting the bear market, that yellow line. And then last cycle, it's the same exact thing on the RSI. So every time we have kind of this break, this was an odd break, right? Right here was very bullish. And then we know what happened, COVID, right? But even still, it tested that trend line and continued out of the bear market. And then same here, exiting the bear market. So this trend line is so helpful for us right now. And it's not like saying, hey, it's confirmed we're good, because we're not, right? I don't see Bitcoin breaking this area. It's not even testing the area right now. We have to test the area. But I will say, this is a good guide. Now that we have lower highs on the RSI, that is something I will be watching in terms of the weeks ahead, in terms of as we're waiting for the Fed pivot and we're waiting for the macroeconomic landscape to be more, friendly to crypto and altcoin markets and Bitcoin. Because once this happens, I think we're going to see a Bitcoin breakout. And when it happens on this RSI, this is a very important signal to pay attention to, and that goes for altcoins too. So as we start this week, there's not a ton of crazy price action. There's not a ton happening. We close a green weekly candle. We're in a current green weekly candle. This can close very quick. I'd be very surprised if soon it's not even red as we start this week and going into Wednesday. So let's see what happens. We'll probably do some short-term analysis on the daily chart on Bitcoin and altcoins. It's going to be probably volatile, but either way, everybody, you see who's buying, you see who's selling, and I think that is very telling. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the subscribe if you're out there. I appreciate you. I really do. Thank you for watching the videos. If you enjoyed the video, smash that like button. I will see you in the next video. God bless.